Hi guys, welcome to a fun with coordinates lesson. So we're going to do some coordinates today. We're going to have a bit of fun with it, and hopefully it's a bit of a refresher to try and remind you what you've done in the past, but also a bit of fun to kind of get you thinking about coordinates, thinking about how we're going to use them. So I'm going to start off with our success criteria today. Just a bit of a reminder of all the things that you need to remember when you were using coordinates, and if you want to scroll back to this page at any point, please do. So just remembering that we've got our x-axis, which is across, and our y-axis, which is up. Now I always remember it as x is across and it is a cross. So across and across, as in you got it wrong, it's across. And y, we reach for the sky with a y, so the y goes up. The y, reach for the sky. X is across, so it goes across. We always go along the corridor and up the stairs, so we go along the x-axis first, and then we go up or down. So whenever we're writing our coordinates, we always go along, but that will become clear a bit later on. And then you need to look at the intersecting lines, and you need to use a ruler if you need to check. So the intersecting lines are these bits here. So when we are doing our plotting, we are actually using the lines that intersect here. So what we could have is our lines intersecting there, or there. We're not using these bits here in between the lines. It's always where the blue lines match. Now I'm just going to remind you as well that this bit in the middle is our 0. So if that's our 0, we go along the bottom, we go along, and that's a 0, and then that's a -1. So it can have a 0 as one of the coordinates. So we can go along 0 and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 0, 5. So that would be our coordinate there. Just remembering that when you write it, it must be in brackets and it must be separated by a comma. So if I were to look at a point here, let's get rid of these bits, and I wanted to write it out, if I were to look at this point here, I would then need to make sure that I'm writing it in brackets. So I do my first bracket, and then I'd go along and I would count my, here we go, where's my arrow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 along. So down here I would have 6, and then I would separate it with a comma and see how many I'm going up. 1, 2, so it'd be 6, 2, and I'll finish it off with my brackets. And then just looking at the 4 quadrants. Now you don't really need to know the name, but you might be asked that. So it goes anti-clockwise. So we go quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. I've done it in Roman numerals. They're cross-curricular. Hope you like it. So if you need to come back to this and double check at any point, please do so. So we're going to start off the coordinates on the grid. As I said to you before, it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in our first quadrant, quadrant 1, it's positive numbers and positive numbers. Then we go to quadrant 2. We go along the corridor, so -3, and then we go up to say 4. So we'd write that -3, 4 in brackets. Quadrant 3 is down here, so it goes 1, 2, 3, and that's both negative numbers. So we go along the corridor to -4, we go down to -3, so it'll be brackets, -4, -3, close the brackets. And then quadrant 4, which is here, we go along the corridor, so it's positive numbers, so 2, and then -2 would be about here, so it'll be brackets 2, -2, bracket end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle on here, and we're going to have a look at the coordinates. If you want to have a go at figuring out what these coordinates might be, please pause the video now, write them down. But remember, if you are measuring, if you're writing them out yourself, always use a ruler. So what are the coordinates of the rectangle? If you want to write that down now, and then I'll reveal them in just a second. Okay, so hopefully you paused it, hopefully you're back. So my first coordinate I'm going to do here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across. So I always do my across first, then it should be 1, 2, 3, 4 up. And obviously I've written it in brackets, put my comma, and then I've put my second number there. So 5, 4. Let's go over to this one here. So we're going to go quadrant 1, then quadrant 2. So this should be -6 and then 4. So -6 and then 4. We'll go to quadrant 3. It should be -6 and then -3. Let's have a look. -6 and -3, always in the brackets so we don't get confused. And then my last one here should be 5 and -3. Let's have a look. 5 and -3. So in the description below, there are some sheets that you can print off. I've put them on there as a PDF, so have a go at those. And what I want you to do is print off one of the sheets. Now, the first bit is a bit of fun. And what you're going to do is you're going to create your own colourful pattern, and you're going to use a key for the coordinates. I'm going to explain to you exactly what I mean. So if I start off with a couple of shapes, I'm going to draw the shapes. I'm going to then write out the coordinates, and only when I've written out the coordinates can I have enough fun in terms of colouring them in. So I've done 2 shapes. You can do as many as you want, but this grid here is in the description below. Go to the link and you can print that out. So, or if you want to, you can just draw a grid on square paper. It doesn't have to be up to 14, minus 14 and 14, minus 14 and 14. You can do it 10 up, 10 up down to minus 10. But remember, the first one here is the 0. So don't start with 1 here. 1 is 1 square out. It's how you normally count. You start with 0 and you go 1, 2, 3. Start with 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So let's have a look. So I've done a couple of shapes. My first shape is a blue shape, and we can see my first coordinate I've done is 1, 2, 3, and then I've gone up 1. So that's my first corner there. Now you've got to do them in order, because then I've done 3 and 6, and then I've done minus 6 and 6, and then I've done minus 6 and 1. They've got to be in order. It needs to go in order from here to here to here down to here, and then we can go back there. Now the reason we do them in order is what I don't want to happen is someone trying to draw your shape and they go bump, 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 because it will come out as a cross. It will not come out as you want it to come out. So I've done my little key, done it blue because my shape is blue, and then I've done my next one, which is yellow, which is my triangle, and I've got here my first point of my triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 6 across, and then minus 1 down. My next point is 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down, so 10 minus 6. So you can see there, if I join it up, that's 10 there, that's minus 6 there. So I can use a ruler to do that. It's hard for me to do on the computer screen. And then my next one is 2, so positive 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going down 6 there, and that is my triangle. So if you want to do that, print out in the description below, and make sure that you do some lovely colourful things. If you want to, you can do them completely overlapping. If you want to, that's fine. You can make lots of beautiful colours, lots of beautiful shapes, and you can kind of have a bit of fun with that if that's what you want to do. But make sure you write out the coordinates. It's all well and good having fun with the shapes, but please make sure you are writing out the coordinates as well. So next up, it's just a little test for you. So I want you to have a go at this again. Down below, you can print them out, or if not, just get some squared paper and you make a grid by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 up, 5 across, 5 down, and 5 back. So a line going across 10, a line going down 10, and then intersecting in the middle. And then I want you to have a go at making some of these shapes. So you're going to start off with, we're going to go for this one, number 2, because otherwise you won't see it over the camera thing over here. So my first one will be 2. I'm going to actually label my axis first. You can do that. So I'm just going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to write here -1, -2, -3, -4. So make sure you label them. So my first point would be going along 2. So 1, 2. I'm going to go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be my first point. And then once I've done my points, I'm going to join them up. Can you name the shape? So once you've done that, actually print off another one of these big sheets here and have a go at some extension work. So can you plot the coordinates for a diamond? Can you plot the coordinates for an arrow? And it can be any kind of arrow that you would like, but I've got obviously one here, so obviously you could plot the coordinates for an arrow and put that on. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, don't forget the corners, 5, 6, 7 different coordinates on there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can do that as well. Can you do your initials? Can you do it in bubble writing? That could be quite good fun. And then if you want to, you really want to, why don't you do a face as well? Don't forget though, every time plot the coordinates, but write the coordinates down, because if you're not writing the coordinates down, you're just doing pictures, and that's not really any kind of maths learning. Other ideas you could have, so once you've done your initials, once you've done a face, why not have a game with somebody who's at home. So you could draw 2 points of a shape, tell someone what the shape is, and then they can complete the shape. So for example, I might say, I have got this point here, I've got this point here, and I'm going to say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 5, 1, 5 would be my first point. Then my second point would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my second point would be 5, 5. And I'm going to say to you, that is a rectangle. So somebody else could plot the next 2 points, that one there, and then what they could do is join that up. So you can have a bit of fun with that. If you've got a brother, sister, if you've got a mum that's at home who wants to maybe do some maths with you, then mum, dad, then you can do that as well, and then join them up. And then once they've done it, and mine's really rough because I'm using a mouse, once they've done it, you can then write down what the other 2 coordinate points might be. So that's a bit of fun as well. Or, but it looks like a car, hello. Or you could get super duper creative and you could draw a picture. So this one here is a castle and it's across all 4 grids. This one here, Batman. And again, you don't need to go as creative as this, but you could just do a nice bat symbol. You can get some curved looking lines in there, but don't forget to write down the coordinates. Otherwise, all you're doing is sitting and drawing and not doing a great deal. So that's a bit of fun with coordinates. As I say, down below, if you need the paper and you can print it out, please use that. If not, just draw your own grids. Make sure you're using a ruler and make sure you are following our success criteria, which is here. I hope you have fun doing that, and I will speak to you guys soon, and take care and goodbye.